Hello, Sagittarius, and Happy New Year's soon. I'm trying to be a bit quieter today, and the lighting isn't great. You can see my camera's a bit close to the ground as well. It's just a bit early. The sun hasn't come up yet, so yeah, trying to be quiet and not wake my children and the neighbours up. I can hear actually the neighbours are pottering. Some of them are. So thin walls, thin British walls. Right, okay. So your songs. I don't have anything intuitively for you. I don't think, unless something comes up in the reading. But I've got two songs for you from when I was setting up. You've got Positions by Ariana Grande. Please, Sagittarius, what are you up to? Feeling very, very saucy. So I actually did get positions, please. So some of you may be getting people into position. It's also a little bit bossy, which I'll come back to. But you could actually work in like the theatre or some kind of you could even be just planning a party, like a surprise party, and you're like, everybody into position, something like that. But obviously, that song, Positions, Ariana Grande, that album actually is very orientated around looking good, feeling sexy, being in relationships. So a line that particularly popped out was "Now I'm running with you." So she's talking in that song about I want to go and meet your parents. She's saying, I want to settle down with you. I'm choosing you. I don't want to kind of be going out kind of playing around with other people. Like, I'm choosing you. I'm riding with you. I'm in it for the commitment kind of thing. In a very sexy way. Now, I'm definitely feeling that kind of energy. I've got Sagittarius placement. I've got Mars in Sagittarius, and I have definitely been feeling that kind of like knowing what you want, being very clear, very direct, feeling actually really like you want to look good and feel good, and being very comfortable with your own body and sexuality. So I definitely kind of get why you've got that song. Not the End of the World by Katy Perry. Just enjoy the ride. Now I'm running with you. Just enjoy the ride. Don't say goodbyes. Don't lose hope. It's not the end of the world. What a time to be alive. So it's all saying like, I don't know if something's happened for you, Sagittarius, where you've got yourself a little bit disappointed in something. You kind of think, you're kind of seeing worst case scenario here, or you've misunderstood something where you're thinking, oh, everything's falling down, this is ending now. You're very strong though. You're not falling down. You're very, very, you're coming through actually very powerful at the moment. But you may be sort of in an energy where you're saying, if you can't see a relationship going somewhere, and it doesn't have to be a love interest as well, it can be anything, a work commitment, something like this. But if there's a situation for you where you think, the other person isn't giving me enough here, I don't know where this is going, I think this is the end of the line, you're getting ready to kind of cut and run and go and move somewhere where, because you're so direct, because you're so open and honest, and you really you don't want to mess around. You've not got time to mess around, Sagittarius. So if somebody else is kind of being indecisive, you're like, look, take it or leave it. It's now or never kind of thing. I'm going to use that actually. That's a Halsey song, so I'm just going to jot that down for you. Yeah, I think it's Halsey. I'll look it up and jot it down in your description box down below with all the other songs that come through for your reading. So yeah, I think you're probably going to make this other person feel a bit flustered actually. But it's saying, don't say your goodbyes, don't lose hope. It's not the end of the ride, Sagittarius. You're thinking it is, but it's not. It could be that something's coming in for you, but in a different form than what you were expecting. But there's something there that you're not quite seeing the bigger picture. Also, what popped out for me was, you can tame a dragon if you're not afraid to flight. Flight. Why did I say flight? Dragons fly. Dragonfly? There could be something there for somebody. Perhaps dragonflies are particularly relevant to you. Perhaps they're showing me a brooch, like a jewellery. Perhaps you have a dragonfly brooch, or somebody around you does. For others of you, it's literally flying, not afraid to fly. Perhaps there's somewhere you want to go, something you need to do. And obviously we've got COVID at the moment. We all have to be very, very careful and take precautions. But it could be something you actually do, something quite important where you think, I do have to travel. and there's a big opportunity there for you, but it does require you to take a flight or to travel in some kind of way. But obviously, a lot of people are scared of doing that, quite rightly. So I'm not saying travel for like some silly reason, but if there's something really important, then it could be worth taking that risk if you're not afraid. Again, obviously, COVID restrictions, my throat's closing off. I don't know if you can hear that. That indicates somebody not speaking their truth or not saying something they need to say. But there could definitely be something there for somebody. For others, excuse me, you can tame a dragon if you're not afraid to fight. So something there in that line. You won't be afraid to fight. Sag, again, depending on your Mars placement. My Mars is in Sagittarius, so I'm like, when I decide I want something or when I decide to fight, there's like, like I'm quite determined there. Which is good because I'm also Libra and Gemini, which is complete indecision. And Leo, Leo rising I've got as well, which makes me really lazy. So it's good that I've got that Sagittarius placement to actually make me move sometimes. So yeah, you can tame a dragon if you're not afraid to fight. You've got a really interesting energy, Sagittarius. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out for you actually in today's reading. Yeah, definitely not afraid. My daughter's Sagittarius. She's not afraid of anything. She's probably too brave. So then, yeah. Sometimes I say with you, Sagittarius, it's kind of like I give you like look before you leap warnings, where it's like you can be a bit spontaneous. You can sometimes not think before you act. But it's almost like that is also your strength at the same time. It's kind of, depending on perspective, some things that are a weakness for one person, like a weakness in one situation, can be a strength in another. And right now, that is your superpower, where you're being called to be very, very brave in a situation, really very focused, knowing what you want, standing in your power. It's coming through really well, actually. Okay. Sagittarius, what are we going to have for you? So Sagittarius, the best song that can possibly come through for those watching the Sagittarius reading today, please. If I can press the button. Blue da ba dee da do ba da ba dee da. That song, when it was out, because I'm quite old, when that song was out, it drove me absolutely potty. It drove me up the wall because they just played it too much. So there you go. Eiffel 65, Eiffel Tower could be relevant to you somehow. Blue Dabba Dee, original ice pop song. Maybe you're eating an ice pop right now. Maybe I don't know. Euro pop. Maybe you're interested in Eurovision. Okay, so there could be something in that song for you. What is it? Listen up. There's a story about a guy who lived in a blue house, and all day and all night, and everything is blue. Oh, so you could be dealing with somebody actually who is a bit gloomy, sadness, depression. That's what blue signifies for me. If you read something else from that, absolutely go with your intuition. But yeah, to me, it's like somebody who's, not too happy in their life. Okay, so I'm going to listen to that song off camera just to make sure I'm getting everything that I need to from it. I'm going to tune into the energies and we're going to start to pull you some cards. So I'll be back in a minute, Sag. Yeah, my crown chakra is really opening up today. That blue song definitely could be connecting with somebody who is feeling down in the dumps and possibly a little bit bored with the life. It's got a very repetitive beat, and he also sounds like my girlfriend's so blue. So I feel like somebody who's very down in the dumps. And they took me back to that dragon quote. And the phrase, because I've lit you a dragon's blood joss stick. They gave me the phrase as well, chasing the dragon. So there could be some kind of addiction here that somebody's got. It could be anything, shopping, porn, some kind of substance, literally anything. But it's like that, the phrase chasing the dragon. So it's like you can tame the dragon if you're strong enough. And I don't think it's your dragon. I think it's somebody else's, possibly. Be very, very careful if you're in that situation. The energy, your energy that's coming through, Sagittarius, you're not taking any prisoners. You're not messing around. Someone tries to kind of like create some kind of codependency with you, or some kind of toxic cycle with you. I don't think you're having any of it. You're like, no, I'm coming in here. I'm at your side and we're going to sort this out together. But if you mess me around, I'm out of here. So really interesting, actually, energy coming in there. What else did I get? And I got Shades of Cool by Lana Del Rey, because all that talk about blue, it gave me My Baby Lives in Shades of Blue. So that's all your intuitive bits and bobs. And let's pull you some cards. Oh, they're going everywhere. Right, okay. My baby lives in shades of blue. Avenue. I'm going to take the seed on the bottom. Somebody could, I've been getting this message through. Somebody could, you could have your eye on someone, possibly Sagittarius, who has, I'll explain the situation that I've got that's been coming through for a while. I don't know who it's for. It may be for you, may not be, but the seed card has reminded me of it. I'm getting a situation where somebody, a masculine energy, is in a relationship already, but it's not a happy relationship. It's not a happy home. And I think there's codependency there. The guy has stepped out. This is like a four-party situation. There's a lot going on here. So the guy has, I think, actually in the process of leaving the partner, and I think they've actually stepped out with somebody else, got a girlfriend, you know, trying to move on with their life. But I think there's another person who is like, it's like, oh, it's like this guy has like three people in the life. It's like the ex-partner who was codependent, possibly a little bit unstable. This relationship here that's like very, very strong, very sexual, very almost addictive. And then there's another situation where I think there's actually quite a healthy relationship here, and they have got this person pregnant, but I think they still are in this addictive cycle here. So I don't know how that's going to play out. But it's kind of like a storyline that I've been getting for a while. So I don't know if this, my bag's going super hot now. So I don't know if this is this storyline coming through with the seed. That's what it's giving me. Immediately when I saw it, I was like, that's that storyline. Because I get these storylines, they kind of come through different readings sometimes. And I pick up the pieces kind of as I go. So this is what I do. Like, it's like they give me these threads, and then I'm sat there holding all these threads thinking, what do I do with these? And then all of a sudden they kind of throw all the threads together, and it's like, right, now it's time to say that. So the seed of an idea, it could be the seed of an idea. Literally, I am getting through that somebody's pregnant, so congratulations if that's you, and that's a good thing for you. Brilliant. Maybe a sense of panic around it, I know, but what I'm getting is, in whatever this situation is, if somebody is pregnant today, this is one of the messages I had this morning. And again, I don't always say them unless they come up in a reading now, but I was getting through that somebody is, it's like a blessing in disguise. Like, it was unexpected, it wasn't intentional. There's a sense of panic around it. What does this mean for me? But it does seem like it's a blessing in disguise. So message for somebody there. And that's not going to be everybody's story, don't panic. It was just a very, very strong story that came through for me this morning. So the seed, pearl of wisdom, pearl of an idea. It's like a grain in the oyster. Like, that could also be like the oyster shell. So there could be something there that can, like, doesn't have to be a baby, right? But there's something planted. It could be the seed in someone's mind, but it's growing. Like how when it's closed down, when it's hidden, that's grain of sand in the oyster turns into a beautiful large pearl. So pearls also symbolize love for me, or emotional relationships. So the thread, climbing out of a dark space. I feel like this is not your energy, Sagittarius, and I may be wrong here. I am doing your reading, but they may be telling me about somebody that you connected with. Take it as it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. But you've been in some kind of dark place, and I feel like there's this kind of like lifeline coming in for you or for somebody around you that's pulling you up towards a place that's much more healing, much more beneficial. So let's have a look at this. 50, 60, 70. Baby lives in shades of blue. Avenue. When he calls for me and not for you. Oh yeah. Right, okay. The path, the vein, the circuit. Life is a tangle. That's whatever I was picking up on there is a tangle. I'm just trying to kind of release that storyline, because I'm trying to do a general reading that's going to fit a lot of people. So life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, so I'm getting something else through, but I think it's for another sign, so I'm just getting a little bit distracted. But I'll leave it for that sign, and if you are connecting to that sign, then you'll know. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. The way that this is talking here, talking about pumping things into your bloodstream and how I was getting chasing the dragon. This is not going to be for everybody, but it's a side message for somebody that they're definitely dealing with somebody who has some sort of addiction. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what came. It really is a metaphor, right, for life. When something strikes us at our deepest core and we're suddenly reminded why we're alive. And it's kind of similar to that Katy Perry song where it's not the end of the world. There's something else coming in for you that's going to make you feel really pumped up and alive and energetic. I really feel like you're going to be throwing yourself into something soon, Sagittarius. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came in this world to do. So if something has closed out for you, especially if it's some kind of toxic cycle, it's funny how this is kind of relating to that Gemini reading I just did, then it could be that my right ear's ringing. So I don't know if that's relevant to anybody, but it could, so it's very distracting. I'm completely taken out of myself, sorry, with that ringing in my ear. What was I trying to say? So it could be that, I think I'm giving you a spoiler. I think that's why they're trying to distract me. But I feel like something's closing out for you. You could be cutting some kind of cord, especially if you are dealing with someone who's toxic. And you're not doing it to be mean, you're doing it to be in your power. And it's not that you can't help that person, it's just that you don't want to be messed around. You're kind of in a position where you're going, I know that I'm good for you, I know that I can help you, but if you want to keep on making bad choices, that's your decision. It's like, I'm here, I'm going to ride with you if you want me to. Not ride the dragon, obviously, don't do that. But I mean, I don't know, depends what the dragon is. Right, okay, I'm getting distracted. Okay, but Sagittarius, whatever's happening for you, you're feeling very powerful, and I feel like there's something really big coming in for you. God, it's getting lewd now. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread, a song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, we are connected to the thread. If we are connected to the thread, we are free. Being tethered to it is the only anchor our heart requires. Okay, so the circuit of meaning within our chaos, when dark, binding, frustrating, and taut. The sculptures of Eva Hesse. Recall a moment in your life where you felt fully alive. The thread is waiting for you amid the details of that memory. You may think you have to find the thread and pull it. Imagine, though, that it's already tied around you, waiting for you to follow it home. So it could be, Sagittarius, that you are being a little bit, you're pulling too hard on the thread. So if there's a connection between you and somebody else, you could be pulling it too hard, which is causing resistance on the other person, because it's like maybe they've got things to do and you're pulling is like a distraction, where perhaps if you loosen the thread a little bit, it will allow that other person to clear up what they need to clear up, and then you'll be able to follow the thread back to each other. Otherwise, it's some kind of connection. So this strange reading today, sometimes they come through really clearly and sometimes they're kind of quite overwhelming. This one, it's like it's also saying that there's some kind of lifeline for you, some kind of pull on your heartstrings, or some kind of like a soul tie that you've got with someone or something. It's like you've got a destiny, a purpose. You may be trying to follow that too, like, full-headedly. Like, you may... What's coming through is like, relax a little. It's not the end of the world. The thread can't be cut. Go away, do your own thing a little bit. Keep dancing and put your best dress on, go dancing, and that cord will re-energize itself naturally. If you're both pulling on it from either end, it's going to get worn, it's going to get tired. So relax, release, enjoy the moment, and go with the flow. Right, okay. Very interesting, the readings that are coming through today, because they kind of almost the opposite of the messages that I was getting through this morning, because I was getting a lot of messages through this morning about letting go, releasing, saying goodbye. It is the end of the world almost, like you're losing something. You're losing something that you were very passionate about, and this is just a general reading that I was picking up on, and like the actual messages that are coming through in the reading are like, no, actually it's still there, you just have to back off a bit. Right, okay, so we're going to do what lessons were you meant to learn in 2020? What do you need to release as we leave 2020? What big opportunities are coming in for you in 2021? And what obstacles or challenges may you continue to face in 2021? So what lessons was Sagittarius supposed to learn in 2020? What lessons was Sagittarius supposed to learn in 2020? Oh, okay. So how to deal with a lack of reward and recognition, a lack of victory, when things don't go your way, when you don't get the success, when you don't get the dreams and wishes that you were hoping for, when you're not in the spotlight, when perhaps you are literally a stage performer with positions, please. But it's like when you can't do the performance, whatever the performance means to you. My heart just flipped. Yeah, so when you don't have that victory, when you don't have that success, especially if it's in a relationship, it's like you're dealing with that. You're learning how to be mature about that. You're learning how to keep working on yourself and being in your power, despite not getting the reward and recognition perhaps that you crave from others. So it's this kind of, perhaps you've got some kind of need for that, for other people to recognize your efforts. When you do something, you want people to be like, right, good job. Or when you look really good, you want other people to be like, oh, you look great today. But you're releasing that in 2020. That's what you've been working on. This need for attention from other people, you're releasing it. It's almost like she's going like she's like throwing it down, she's letting go, she's letting it fall, she doesn't need it anymore. But you can see that even though she's kind of, it's almost like hangman energy, looking at something from a different perspective in the reverse. So she's releasing, she's got her arms open, she's like, I'm not holding on to anything anymore. No expectations, I'm just going to be free. Just whacking things there. But you can see that she doesn't lose the victory wreath. The victory wreath is still by her side. It's still with this one symbolising her passion. So it's not going anywhere. It's just that you don't have the need for it anymore. Okay, nice message. I like that one. It's a bit different. I wouldn't have thought of that, if that makes sense. So, interesting message to come through. What does Sagittarius need to release? You need to release expectations of other people, where you want other people to be putting in an equal amount of work. You are a fire sign, which does tend to, depending on, again, on your full chart, your other placements of other planets in different signs, you do have a tendency to have a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. So when you're working on things, this is very much work and effort, putting effort into something tangible. So when you put a lot of effort into something, you do expect growth with the Seven of Pentacles. You do expect people to share the workload, but because you're so energetic and enthusiastic, you have to recognize that not everybody is on that same level as you, Sagittarius, and some people just can't keep up with your pace. So you may be going for something and putting all your effort and enthusiasm into it and saying, why isn't everybody else putting this much work into it? But it's because you other people just can't. They just, like, it's not in their nature as it's in your nature. So recognizing that it's not always going to be equal, fair and share, and releasing the need to see growth from the work that you've done. It's almost like try and enjoy what you're doing. Do something where you're putting the work in because you want to put the work in, and not because you're expecting something back out of it from other people. I hope that makes sense to you there. Again, a funny message. It's not like they're not what I would have thought would come out for any of the signs. So it's interesting to interpret them. What opportunities are coming in for Sagittarius, please? Oh, it's funny that I mentioned the hangman, right? The hangman. So the opportunities for you do involve being quite patient, learning to be patient, learning to really evaluate things and look at things from different perspectives rather than just diving straight into things. So it's almost like the universe is teaching you to hold back a little bit, to hold up. So that enthusiasm, Sagittarius, is brilliant. But I mean, nobody wants a card about patience in 2021, do we? That's what we've done all year. But it really is saying it's almost like look before you leap. Just take a little bit of extra time to make sure before you take that plunge, and then there's no going back. It's like if you're about to jump off a huge cliff into the water, how are you going to get back up if you don't like it down there? So it's almost like coming up with a strategy, an exit plan, or a plan B before you take the leap of faith. And that's not saying you can't take it, just have a backup plan. We'll pull more cards on that. And what challenges? Your challenges are that there's no challenge. My throat's closing up again. I literally can't speak, so I don't know if that's a sign for you that there's something that somebody's finding hard to express here. The Five of Wands is a card about competition. It's literally a card about competition. So if it came out in the upright and it's like, what are you going to face? You're going to be facing some competition, right? In the reverse, there's no competition. So the challenge you're going to face is that there's no competition in something. So that may mean that you don't have anything to compete against. You are a competitive sign. So you can sometimes be quite energized by competition. So if you see someone else doing something, you're like, I can do it better. Or, if there's a prize and other people are going for it, you can like really kind of like pull out all the stops to kind of go and hit that mark. But if there's no competition, if there's nothing you're fighting for, you may become a little bit complacent, you may become a little bit lazy, or have some kind of lack of motivation, especially with this hangman energy here. So this may really be a challenge for you, Sagittarius. It may be that you're doing something new, so there's literally no competition. There's nothing to compare yourself with. What a funny reading. Oh, you've got the sun, look, though, on the underlying, so that's really, really good. That's the most positive card you could possibly get in the entire deck. Could be that for some of you, if you are having a baby, you could be finding you've got a lot more free time. So it's like perhaps you've been taken out of a work situation, so that you don't have the competitiveness of the work situation anymore. You don't have that problem of like putting the work in and expecting the reward and recognition from it. So it's almost like a new phase in your life where you're perhaps looking at other things rather than what you'd normally be doing. Six of Wands. Why is the Six of Wands in reverse, please, for the lesson that Sagittarius needed to learn? Six of Wands in reverse. Oh, yeah. So that is devil energy. Could be dealing with Capricorn or Aquarius here as well. But there is... You perhaps have been craving attention from somebody. Again, doesn't have to be any particular sign, or it could be a situation rather than a person, but you've definitely been craving attention or reward or recognition from something, but that's been keeping you bound. So it's almost like the need for approval, the need for attention, the need for validation of others is actually what's been keeping you stuck. So you're learning how to unchain yourself from any situations where you felt this need for approval from others. Okay, tell me about the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. There's some kind of rebirth here. So just clarify for me what is the situation here, please. Okay. So the situation is the Seven of Swords and the Lovers. So it could definitely be a third-party situation for some of you, in some kind of love triangle or love square, if there's four people involved, like I was picking up on. But there's this kind of strategy, deceptiveness here. Not necessarily deceptiveness, but trying to do things kind of on the down low, kind of doing things quite quietly, trying to pick up all the swords off the battlefield so they can't be used against you the next day. So this is the kind of thief in the night card, and this is Gemini energy. Again, could be dealing with the Gemini. It's funny how that comes up. So the situation is involving possibly some kind of love triangle, somebody being a little bit sneaky. Now, don't panic. This just might not be your story. Again, it is a general reading, so don't be like, oh my God, my partner's cheating on me. It doesn't necessarily mean that, but there is some kind of, it can sometimes be self-deception about some kind of romantic relationship. It could be that you think you don't deserve something, or perhaps you think you do deserve something. Again, you wanting reward and recognition or acknowledgement or contribution from this other person, and it's not coming forward. So there could be some kind of self-deception there, where you could be holding on to something where I think you're probably worth more. I think you're probably worth more than what you're asking for, almost. Like it's kind of like you're not seeing your own value in this situation. You're putting a lot of work into something, with a sense of expectation that it's going to go somewhere. But then you've got this Judgment card, this rebirth energy. So it's almost like when you let go of whatever this is, you're going to have a new start. Now, it could be that you need to walk away from a relationship in order for the other person to realize how much effort you put in and come back to you. But it could also mean that if you let go of something here, again, could be a work connection or anything, but once you let go of it, once you let it end, it could just be ending the expectation or ending the need for approval or recognition from someone else. Once you let go of that, you are going to come out of this flying. The Judgment card is very much Phoenix energy, so it's like rebirth, following the call of your own heart, knowing your own destiny, your own purpose, your own mission, rather than kind of looking outside of yourself for some kind of approval or reward. You can see literally kind of the similarity of these two cards, where the situation kind of is kind of mimicked in these. There is a need to be on these two cards, which are actually very, very positive cards. Everybody's naked, so it's almost like saying you need to be more open and honest if you've been deceptive anyway, or somebody needs to be more open and honest with you. And I think you are a very, very open and honest sign, Sagittarius. So if you sense deception, I don't think you're going to stand for it. I think you're going to be like, you be honest with me else I'm out of here. Right, the Hangman. So this is the opportunity. Why is the Hangman an opportunity? Explain to me how the Hangman is an opportunity. Oh, the Emperor. Whoa. Okay. Explain the connection between the Hangman and the Emperor. A decision. So you've got some kind of decision to make here. Some kind of choice. One choice you're familiar with. You can see here on one side of this picture, she's kind of got her back to this townscape. This is kind of like where she knows, where she lives. She's sort of looking off over this horizon and holding this other wand, and using a phone. So there could be some kind of long distance connection or relationship or job or something that's kind of going to, that's an option you could take, but it's going to take you away from your comfort zone. But it's going to have more to teach you. So you're looking at this from a lot of different angles. It's really saying, it really is kind of like a look before you leap energy here. Make sure you've got a plan B. It's not the fool. He's not jumping straight in. He's really having a proper think about this. But it does come with this Emperor energy. Now, the Emperor can sometimes symbolize a boss, somebody who's very career minded, somebody who's in some kind of like leadership position. They've probably got a lot of they're telling me managerial. They could have some kind of position of authority in some kind of situation. So again, head of the household, or head of the family, or head of the church, or I mean that'd be the Hierophant, but or like head CEO of a business, somebody who's very, very experienced, very practical, can direct people. Now, normally it's Aries, Taurus, but it could definitely be your energy, Sagittarius. You could be thinking, do I want to take this leadership position? And it almost seems like you'd have to move to do it. It's like this little town here, but she's looking, excuse me, so sorry, across water to this city. So you could be moving to somewhere that's like busier, where there's more opportunities, but you're having a really good think about it. So there's an opportunity coming up in 2021 to have some kind of choice point where you may be looking at kind of bossing up. I am getting that kind of bossing up energy. It's like, maybe that's why there's no competition. Maybe you're like coming in as this very, very, like I was picking up with that Ariana Grande song as well, where it's like coming in this very strong energy. It may literally be that there's no competition. You're the right person for the job. Like you don't even have to try. It's like you're just naturally the right person to fit some sort of role. So maybe you're reassessing and thinking, well, I know that I can do this, but is it going to get boring perhaps? Let's get something on the Five of Wands. So what's the Five of Wands? There you go, there's the Hierophant. Oh, and the Queen of Pentacles and the Everything is Fine card. Right, I feel like these came out separately. So it's funny that I was saying the Emperor and the Hierophant, right? This is like head of the church. So this is somebody who is, doesn't have to be church, but it can be like higher learning. So it could be like some kind of university or a place where you're going to learn new skills. You could be teaching with the Emperor and the Hierophant. You could be teaching other people some sort of skill, or being in some sort of position of authority. And it's quite spiritual as well with the Hierophant here. It can also symbolize marriage. Yeah, I'll come to that in a second. No conflict, no fighting. Very much like law and order, following the rules, doing things by the book. So you may struggle with authority. You may struggle with the rules. You may struggle with traditions and establishment, sort of established roles. You may think there may be a sense of boredom with that. That could be a challenge for you. And you've also got this Queen of Pentacles and Everything is Fine. So again, this Everything is Fine card is really interesting. I'll just show you, there's two of these cards in this. It's right there as well, look, right there. First card in the deck. So just to kind of show you the difference here, it's the exact same image, the exact same card. The Ten of Swords though symbolizes something that's a complete end, like feeling stabbed in the back, feeling betrayed. Could be something you've read or seen on social media where you like ow, that's painful to see that. Okay, so this is ending. But it's not the ending. It's not the Ten of Swords. And this is what makes this deck so special in this way, because it's the Everything is Fine card. So you're there, and I was picking up on this at the start of the reading, you're there thinking, this is the end of the world, this is the end of this situation. I'm cutting my losses, I'm going, but it's not the end. Everything's fine. You've just misunderstood something, or there's some kind of revival of a situation that you're not seeing. So, and it comes with this Queen of Pentacles energy. I'm really drawn to the rabbit there for some reason. I don't know. It's trying to pull a memory. It's trying to pull a memory for me that I'm not quite getting. Something to do with rabbits. I don't know. Did you get a reading called Jojo Rabbit a while back? I might want to go back and look at that. I don't know if that was you or somebody else. But now the Queen of Pentacles, she, again, you've got very, very, look, you've got a lot of could be dealing with a Capricorn, could be dealing with a Taurus. Doesn't have to be those signs, but that's the strong energy that's coming through when I look at all 4 of those cards. You may have strong Taurus or Capricorn placement in your chart, but I'm getting a sense here of some kind of very, very formal situation. So it could be like a workplace, it could be a marriage, it could be some kind of religious community, but there's something with a lot of structure, a lot of law, a lot of order, a lot of rules and regulations of doing things by the book, a lot of control, a lot of very controlling energy here. All 4 of these are very controlling. The Devil card being there means that might be a problem. You may feel very chained to something that's controlling. It may be some kind of long-term commitment or possible marriage with the Queen of Pentacles there that is feeling very, it just comes through as very controlling. You may be concerned about this in some way, but it's telling you everything's fine. It's not ending. If you think a relationship's ending, if you're in a long-term relationship or a work situation and you think it's ending, it's not ending. You're actually rising above the competition here. So strange energy. I feel like I could spend a lot more time with it. I'm not quite getting it, but I'm really seeing it as some sort of revival, right? Because you've got, I don't want to spend too long with it. I'm trying to do shorter readings, but there's been some kind of deception, or you've had some sort of need for reward and recognition that's not been met in 2020, and you're dealing with that. And I think that's freeing you up in some way to kind of be a lot more powerful in yourself. And then you've got these kind of, both of these cards to me say, I mean, this is a complete ending normally in the tarot, but it's with everything is fine. So it's not ending. And the Judgment card is literal rebirth of a situation. Something that seemed dead and buried and gone is getting this revival. So I think there's something that you don't know, Sagittarius. So while you're there trying to get some sort of approval, could be trying to get some kind of approval for a project. Oh, do you hear a tummy rumble then? Could be taking a lot of confidence. Trying to get some sort of approval for a project or some sort of recognition for something you've done. And you're there thinking, well, why am I not getting, why is this not working out for me? Is this situation done with? Is this dead? Do I need to walk away from this? Because you're sensing as well this kind of deception. There's something you don't know. You're not seeing it clearly, but everything's fine, Sagittarius. You've not got the bigger picture at the moment. So then you've got these. It could be these are 3 different people, 3 kind of. Do you know what I've just got with this card? I've just got that these are like judges. So I'm like, is it The Voice or American Idol? I don't know which one's which, but they kind of spin around in the chair. So you've got the performer, right? You've got the performer singing the little heart out, waiting for those chairs to turn around. And you've been sat there and it's like those chairs aren't turning around for you. So you're getting really disheartened. You're thinking, do I have to give up on this dream that I had? But it's like they are there, and they will turn around for you. And there's literally no competition. It's like, it feels like you've applied to be a contestant on a show and you're not even gonna be a contestant. You're gonna be one of the judges. Like, you're gonna be sat in one of those chairs. I think you've undersold yourself, Sagittarius. Everything's fine. It's not ending. It's actually going to be better than you were expecting, and it's going to be really solid. What a funny reading. Your reading came through so funny today, Sagittarius. I don't know what that was about. Yeah, it's not ending, and that's not even the underlying either. Look, 4 of Wands there. Like, this is like solid celebration. 10 of Pentacles. It's going to bring you a lot of opportunities, like material opportunities. You're going to be sat there you go, that's you on your throne looking fabulous, right? There, look, I'm putting you there. Right, okay. Let's get you a spirit animal card. So what's the best guidance we have, please? There we go. Groundhog Day. What did I have to say as well? Oh, no, something was coming through. 1 second. No, I've totally forgotten what it was. It was a film. I think it was actually coming through for Gemini. I'll have to try and remember and put it in their description. You look at that, the stag spirit, take the lead. You're the emperor. That's saying you're the emperor, Sagittarius. Like, why are you craving approval? Why are you running around craving approval of anyone else when you're the emperor? You're the one giving the approval. Stop thinking that you're part of the competition. You're not. You're the boss. Literally, like, take the lead. Like, don't even stop. It's like, stop trying to work for other people, craving their approval, craving their, I don't know what it is, when you've got the capability to do it all yourself anyway. And I'm leaving the 6 of Wands in the upright. Groundhog spirit, time to let go, because I think after you let go, then comes in the new start. Take time out. Right, okay. So watch out for stags, groundhogs and brown bears. They may be spirit guardians for you at the moment. They may be trying to point you in a certain direction, lead you a certain way. Let's see. Endings lead to beginnings and death is a part of life. That's what I was picking up on. So Groundhog Spirit is here to let you know that it's time to accept the natural ending of something that is no longer serving you. We love to hold on to what is familiar, but the new needs space to arrive so growth can occur. When Groundhog Spirit appears, it's a sign that there is something in your present situation that you need to let go of so that something new can be born, something that will far better serve you now. When the groundhog sees its shadow, he retreats to his den. So too might you yearn for a little more time to say goodbye and transition into the new. However, change is coming and it is good, so let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings, and what must die will always be reborn. Unbelievable. That's exactly what I was saying. Like, everything's fine. Don't fear the reaper. I can't believe how many times I've heard that Don't Fear the Reaper song. It's like obsessively playing on Spotify at the moment for me. It doesn't mean literal death as well. It's just the ending of a situation. So change is coming and it is good, so let go of your resistance. Spring brings many blessings. We're literally going into spring, after winter obviously, and what must die will always be reborn in a new form that will be right for you. Life requires change and detachment. Say farewell to whatever once served you and get ready for something amazing to take its place. Spirit is already sending it your way, and that's exactly what I was picking up on with this thread. It wasn't the exact meaning of card, but if you remember, I was saying it's like you're having a tug of war with somebody else, or there's another energy that you're at tug of war with, and all it's doing is like making that thread all worn and tired. So release it. Doesn't mean you're letting go of it. It's still tied to you. What is meant for you will never be denied for you. But you need to release it because it's taking up too much of your energy and it's not getting you anywhere. So go and spend that energy on just kind of making yourself look gorgeous, figuring out what you're going to do when you take the lead, coming up with a strategy, I don't know, and just relaxing, right? It's telling you just relax and be ready because there's a big change coming. It's going to be really good for you, Sagittarius. So number 9. I'm going to read Take the Lead for you as well. Brown Bear Spirit, take time out. There is a time to act and a time to focus your attention. Yeah, exactly. So stop. It's not the right time. You're putting too much effort in when it's not the right time. There is a time to act and a time to focus your attention on patient strategizing. The arrival of Brown Bear Spirit signals that you are best served by foregoing hard work towards your goals at this moment, and instead taking the time out to meditate or just take a nap so you can refresh yourself and begin planning what you want to co-create next. Come to know the lay of the land as you contemplate and imagine what you might do in this vast space of possibility before you. Again, there you go, begin forming a plan. That's literally what it says. Remember, sleep allows for daydreaming and rest allows for clear-headed strategizing. How might you become the person you wish to be and experience whatever your heart desires? Insights will arise as you explore the possibility and begin envisioning your plan. Knowing what you want will ensure you use your energy wisely in the days ahead. Be patient at this time. Relax and be calm and peaceful so you can recharge. The call for action will come later. So if you've kind of been obsessing over something, try and do things that are going to distract you from it as best as you can. Don't fear any endings that are coming in for you, and just really try and release, just release for now, because I feel like this is the energy that you're moving into. So at the moment you just kind of have to be in this kind of hangman energy of like forming a plan. You can't move yet, so stick with it, form a plan, because the next step after that is this Queen of Wands and Emperor energy, where it's like you are absolutely bossing it and looking really, really good doing it. You're going to be the Ariana Grande of whatever situation it is that you're going into. So you know, she always looks gorgeous. She always looks like she's ready to take on the world, and she's actually, she knows, she kind of owns her little corner of the music world. So again, could definitely be like, it's like if somebody is literally going on one of those TV shows like American Idol, or what's the other one, not Pop Idol, that's like from England years and years ago, The Voice. So if somebody's literally going on one of those shows, you need to tell me, because I don't know, it just looks really good. Right, 58. I'm obsessed with Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton at the moment. I didn't even realise they met on... Is it The Voice? I don't know. I don't watch it. It's like an American show now, isn't it? So, like, I don't even know if we get it over here, but, like, I'm just obsessed with them and their relationship. Like, they just make me cry because the relationship is so beautiful. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Right, Stag Spirit, take the lead. Oracle message. Whether or not you have set your attention to lead, you may have found yourself suddenly called upon to step up to the forefront of your life. Stag Spirit is a reminder that now is the time to heed the call to be sure, strong, and compassionate. Others will look to you, and you have it within you to see through the eyes of Stag Spirit and walk with confidence as you take on the responsibilities that are yours now and model integrity. So there you go. Oh, if you have been a little bit sneaky, you need to stop, because you need to model integrity in all that you do and in all your relationships. Be willing to see the best in others so that your compassionate heart keeps you on the right path. Stag Spirit wants you to know that your responsibilities are now to yourself too, for you are learning and developing new skills. The best in you is coming into view as you step forward with strength, knowing that Spirit supports you as you compassionately take the lead. You are a model for transformation now, sharing your experience, strength, and hope with others so that they may grow and discover their best selves too. What a gift you are! Stay humble and authentic and walk your talk, for this is how a wise leader leads. And I was picking up on that energy right at the start of the reading. That is a really cool reading, Sagittarius. I think you've probably got the most exciting reading of all of them so far this week. Really interested to see how that plays out for you. What are you? You're the sixth sign that I've done so far. So really interested to see if anyone bosses it. And look what's underneath the starfish spirit. Whoops. Starfish symbolise like being in the spotlight for me, getting that reward and recognition that you needed. So it's like as soon as you release the need for it, it comes in. It's funny how life works sometimes, isn't it? Open to infinite possibility. There you go. So what was that? Flamingo, embrace the in-between. And Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch. So look at that. That's very much like yin yang energy there. Deer and stag. So it's like being the Emperor and the Empress at the same time. Being that compassionate, stable, wonderful leader that Sagittarius, I know you can absolutely be, because you are, like, of the three fire signs, you're probably the most compassionate. You're the one that thinks of other people the most. So and very, very honest, and a huge amount of integrity as well that I associate with your sign. So that is looking amazing. I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to let you go about your day. Enjoy your 2021. If you like, leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, share this video with your friends if you think it's their story or really helps out my channel. Leave a comment if anything is particularly resonated with you. I love to hear feedback. You know, sometimes I'm just speaking out into the void, so when I hear that something has resonated, it really is encouraging for me. But again, I'm not seeking that approval. I'm just about to say, and this again is that lesson that we need to learn. Do things because we enjoy doing them, not because we're seeking approval from others. So I totally understand if you're coming in here as a stealth watcher, you're coming in the down low, flying in under the radar, picking up your nuggets of information and sneaking off again. Totally respect that as well. I do that as well sometimes with other readers, especially if it's very, very personal. I'm like, there's no way. I'm like acknowledging that I've read this, watched this. So yeah, I'm going to stop waffling. I'm going to let you get on with your day. Have an amazing 2021, Sagittarius. Do take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye bye.